What's up, y'all? It's King Kong. And right now, I'm taking over my pop's Instagram.
And I was watching him very closely. I saw like his hand shaking a bit.
On May 24th, who have a shocking event unfolded right inside the courtroom of the Manhattan Federal Court. Shah Diddy Combs, once hailed as the most powerful mogul in American entertainment, suddenly suffered a heart attack in the middle of a trial session. While details about his condition were kept tightly under wraps afterward, news of what triggered the incident quickly spread across the media. And what made it even more shocking was that the spark behind this dramatic collapse came from the testimony of none other than his own son, Christian King Combs, whom Diddy had supported throughout his entire career. So what exactly happened in court? What did Diddy's son reveal? Let's find out in today's video. One shocking allegations. The trial of Shah Diddy Combs officially began on May 12, 1925, at the Manhattan Federal Court. This wasn't just a standard criminal trial. It was considered one of the most far-reaching cases in the American entertainment industry in the past decade. From the very start, it drew intense global media attention, as the defendant was not only a powerful man, but a cultural icon of hip-hop, a mogul who had created dozens of platinum-selling artists and once controlled billions in brand value. But this time Diddy wasn't facing a media interview, he was facing shifterious federal criminal charges. Most notably, one of the charges was under the RICO Act, a law typically used to dismantle structured criminal organizations. He was also accused of enticing and transfer-warting individuals across state lines for activities related to commercial sexual conduct and coercing others into participating in depraved acts in unsafe environments. According to documents from the prosecution, between 2004 and 2024, Diddy allegedly orchestrated a closed network with himself at the top that organized debauched parties under the guise of social events, attended by artists, models, and even underage individuals. These events, referred to with the euphemistic slang term freak-off, were exclusive elite gatherings marked by moral and legal transgressions, often involving drugs, enforced submission, and the exploitation of participants' bodies. Many of these activities allegedly took place at Diddy's luxury properties, his mansion in Los Angeles, a high-end apartment in New York, and rented international yachts. Victims testified that they were not only offered alcohol, but were also given drinks suspected of being laced with substances impairing judgment and self-control. Once intoxicated, they were drawn into disturbing situations. Some were filmed, threatened, or coerced into fulfilling sexual demands from guests, or even Diddy himself. One of the prosecution's key witnesses was Cassie Ventura, Diddy's longtime girlfriend. She described a toxic relationship spanning many years during which she was allegedly forced into sexually exploitative encounters with strangers, often under Diddy's supervision or at his demand. Another witness, Daniel Phillips, testified that he had been paid to intimately engage with Cassie at one such party. While Diddy observed and directed the interaction, prosecutors argue that these testimonies reveal a clear pattern of manipulation and organized exploitation, far beyond mere personal misconduct. As of the trial's opening day, over 63 civil lawsuits had been filed against Diddy, a staggering number. These ranged from physical assault, intimidation, and psychological manipulation to coerced participation in lewd acts. What stunned many observers was the time span of the alleged incidents, stretching from 1991 to as recently as 2023, reflecting a deeply entrenched system of abuse, hidden behind the glamour of fame and wealth. A major turning point came in March 2024, when law enforcement executed simultaneous raids on two of Diddy's major residences in Miami, and Los Angeles authorities seized over 100 electronic devices, unregistered firearms, synthetic drugs, and notably more than 1,000 bottles of lubricant, potential evidence of routine and systematic sexual exploitation within his controlled environments. Companies founded and operated by Diddy, including Bad Boy Records, Revolt TV Shajan, and Columbium's Enterprises, also came under investigation, suspected of serving as legal fronts to support illicit activities. Former federal prosecutor Naima Ramani remarked, "This is a textbook example of a single defendant RICO case where one individual uses business enterprises to legitimize sophisticated worked criminal behavior backed by protection and strategic concealment." An even bigger question emerged when the list of witnesses and potential persons of interest was released during jury selection. Over 190 names, including notable celebrities like Kanye West, Michael B. Jordan, Kid Cudi, and Lauren London. While none of them had been criminally charged, their presence on the list underscored the vast scope of Diddy's connections and influence, perhaps shedding light on why these allegations remained buried for so many years. However, the most explosive twist didn't come from the prosecutors or forensic evidence. It came from the man once considered Diddy's heir, Christian King, Combs raised as the successor. To Diddy's empire, Christian's testimony and public statements sent shockwaves through the media. His words were not only emotionally powerful, but are believed to have directly triggered Diddy's courtroom heart attack, sparking a domino effect of legal and psychological consequences. The father collapsed in court. And from that moment, a profound question began to surface. Is the truth finally rising from within the very heart of the Combs family, where silence had been the only rule? For so many years, to a family in the eye of the storm. As Diddy's trial began, the first images captured by the media revealed a scene few expected. Diddy's children seated in the front row of the courtroom, silent and seemingly resolute. Christian, Justin, Quincy, Chance, Jesse, and Delilah all were present with solemn expressions and unwavering gazes fixed on their father. They appeared to be a united front, a family standing together in the face of adversity, an image of solidarity that seemed unshakable. But that image existed only on the surface. Behind the scenes, the actions and personal choices of Diddy's children painted a very different picture. Not long after the initial court sessions ended each day, Christian Combs was spotted, partying in Los Angeles, arm in arm, with his girlfriend, posting celebratory photos filled with wine, neon lights, and nightlife vibes across social media. Similar behavior was noted with Justin and Quincy, who were seen attending a side event alongside young Miami Diddy's current partner, while their father faced the looming threat of a life sentence. This raised a glaring question. If your father is facing federal charges, and the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, is partying and celebrating an appropriate response? For most people, the answer would be obvious. No. But for Diddy's children, it seemed the rules were different. Their reactions reflected a deeply troubling form of emotional detachment, one that raised both moral and psychological concerns. Either they had become so accustomed to their father's dark secrets that they no longer saw them as abnormal, or they simply viewed the situation as a power game where wealth and fame could bend the rules of justice. But reality has proven otherwise. U.S. federal law does not show leniency to celebrities, especially in cases involving organized misconduct or abuse of influence. The public display of luxury and indulgence by Diddy's children amid this legal storm not only drew public outrage, but also damaged their own reputations, especially Christian, who has been trying to launch a solo career under the stage name King Combs and escape his father's shadow. At a deeper level, fractures within the Combs family began surfacing more clearly after Christian publicly commented on the trial, delivering the controversial statement, They didn't say anything important in court. The remark shocked many, not only for its apparent disregard for justice, but because it came from the very person once expected to uphold and continue Diddy's legacy. From that point forward, the public began reinterpreting the family not as a close-knit unit, but as a corporate enterprise operating under a PR strategy where each individual played a role, but genuine emotional connection seemed absent. Some pop culture analysts even drew comparisons. The Combs family is like the Roy in Succession, united on the outside, but internally fractured, manipulative, and devoid of trust. Indeed, if one looks closely, the presence of Diddy's children in court seemed more like a strategic media move than a heartfelt show of support. They weren't there to dispute the charges. They were there to project an image of a perfect family as a temporary media shield while Diddy's empire crumbled piece by piece. But that image didn't last, as victim testimonies from Cassie Ventura, Dawn, Richard, and Daniel Phillips surfaced, describing explicit physical abuse, coercion through power, and the use of substances to blur the lines of consent. Public demand grew louder for accountability, not only from Diddy, but also from those around him, those who attended the parties, those who benefited from the lifestyle. And among them, Did's sons especially. Christian could no longer avoid scrutiny. It's hard to believe that those who lived under the same roof as Diddy for over 2 decades knew nothing. From mansions to yachts, recording studios to backstage lounges, these were the very spaces where immoral and illegal activities allegedly took place. The prolonged silence of his children could no longer be explained as ignorance. It became clear that it was a deliberate choice. And when Christian finally turned through, testimony or public statement interpreted as a betrayal